Hey you, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification button, because if you don't, I will come and take all your cookies. Parents of Reddit, what is the weirdest, most shocking thing you have found in your child's room? Porn? Drugs? Nuclear launch codes? Edit. Wow, I never expected this to get as popular as it did. I'm aware that this question was posted before, but I didn't at the time of posting this. Thanks for all the interesting, funny, gross, inspiring answers. I will keep my eyes peeled for any of these occurring if I ever have kids. A Playboy taped to the underside of his mattress. So if you lifted the mattress you wouldn't directly see it. As the mother of a 19-year-old male, I wish I could upvote your kid. Man at 19, I hope you'd just let him jack in peace by now. He is in the service and in Germany. I sure hope he does. At the age of 15, when you share a room and a bunk bed with your 5-year-old brother, things can be a little awkward. Like I said to someone else, I finally commented within his hearing about what a great place to hide things the drop ceiling was. My much younger sister, 8 or so at the time, had little plastic bags filled with hair clippings from our assorted pets, neatly labeled with names. She said they were for her art projects. Unrelated, she also had one stuffed animal called Baby Meow that she was really fond of. Baby Meow popped a seam and ended up losing some stuffing. So she took this cheap stuffed bear she had and took some of its stuffing to make the repairs. Totally normal. Less normal, hollowing out the bear's detached head and removing the eyes so Baby Meow could use it as a mask. That was a trip to find. How edgy of her. My mom found a jelly jar full of mysterious panties hidden in my brother's closet. That was his conquest jar. I hope not. He was 12. Early starter. I do not know why, but my 8-year-old has taped a mustard packet to his door and labeled it top secret. One day, you should both just walk into his room and sit on his bed beside him, then quietly open with "We know about the mustard," and see what happens. And tape it so we can see his reaction. My 8-year-old son had a folded up note in his drawer that said, "My future on the outside." On the inside there was a line down the middle. One side, CIA. Other side, janitor. Edit. He's still 8. I only found this note a few weeks ago. So did he make it? Is he a janitor for the CIA? His codename is Mr. Clean. Soft on marble surfaces, hard on crime. When I was in college, I got a panicked phone call from my sibling. Apparently my mom was looking for my passport, rifling through my room, and came across a large baggie of white powder she assumed to be cocaine. She continues to search and found a man thong in the empty box to a vibrator. She put all this together in her head and logically concluded I was, in her words, selling my sweet ass for coke. She proceeded to call my siblings in hysterics. First off, the bag she found was chalk powder left over from a high school art project, so not even remotely similar to coke. Second, the man thong was a gag gift that I hadn't gotten rid of. Third, the vibrator was for my girlfriend, and I had no idea then box was still in my room. To this day, 10 years later, my siblings love to ask me how selling my sweet ass for coke is going. TLDR, mom found chalk powder, a gag gift and an empty box for my girlfriend's vibrator and assumes that I'm a man whore for coke. Edit. Phone related typos fixed. This made me remember my buddy whose mom thought he was gay because she found naked photos of a guy on his computer. Mom, that's me. How does his mom tolerate having a gay and narcissistic son? Clearly she wasn't looking at the guy's face. I was the only girl and the oldest kid in my family. I had my own room and my brothers shared a room. When I was about 15-17, all of my clothes would go missing. I would buy a shirt, bras, dresses etc., wear them once and they would be gone. It drove me insane, and there would be no trace. Last year my mom told me she found the bags, sometimes soaking wet, filled with my clothes, hidden under my brother's bed and even some in the back of the outside garage and dug into the lawn. Just weird. None of my brothers has ever confessed, but my mom thinks my youngest brother, now gay and we love him, would wear my clothes in the shower and not want to get caught and hide the evidence. She said she still finds them It was a lot of clothes, and as a teenage girl I would go insane. She didn't tell me until I was older, so I wouldn't embarrass or hurt his feelings, which in retrospect with all my rage hormones I may have done. I was cleaning my 8-year-old stepson's bedroom because it was overrun by toys. When I got to the closet where it seemed he liked to toss toys in an attempt to clean his room himself, I was hit with a horrid smell. I grabbed everything out of their toys, dirty clothes, and came across a paper grocery bag crumpled up. I was afraid to open it as that was where the smell was coming from. I opened it to find a wadded up pair of underwear caked in dried shit. The smell was so intense I ran to the bathroom to vomit. I never said anything to him about it as he clearly had an accident and was trying to hide it. Too bad I'm late to the thread because this is a decent story. Happened a few years ago when my son was about 14, daughter about 11. My son is on a local swim team and goes to practice every day after school. He's a talented swimmer but sort of a disorganized kid, and at first, I didn't bat an eye when he reported he'd misplaced his swim goggles. So I bought him another pair, which he promptly also lost. This went on for quite a while, leading to shouting matches. The goggles weren't expensive but they weren't cheap, $20 to $25 range. And after about the 10th pair I told him he'd need to pay to replace future pairs himself. Still kept losing them. I didn't know whether to be exasperated or amused. Mostly exasperated, at the time. About a year later I'm supervising my daughter as she cleans her room and we pull the bed away from the wall. There's a clattering sound, and a pair of swim goggles appears out of nowhere, seeming to fall from beneath the mattress. My daughter looks convincingly clueless. I investigate and find a tear in the bottom of the upholstered box spring and 31 pairs of swim goggles stashed inside my daughter's bed. It was like a clown car every time I reached in and retrieved a pair. More pairs would come tumbling along with it. My daughter swore she had no idea what happened, but eventually we figured it out. Her pet ferret, Miles, had been stealing the goggles and stashing them when she let him out to play. There was some other junk in there, too. A couple of pens and the insole of a sneaker. But goggles were clearly his favorite. He'd been taking them from my son's gym bag, always left on the floor with the zippered flap conveniently ajar in the next room. As a postscript to this story, till that after typing Google numerous times a day for years on end, forcing yourself to type goggle is really, really hard. When I was in high school, my stepdad found my vibrator while I was at school one day. I came home to find it under my pillow, wrapped in tinfoil. I never asked what was up with that and I intend to never do so. Why would it be wrapped in tinfoil? What? This is confusing and hilarious. Foiling her plans to use it. Duh. Edit. Whoever gave me gold. Thank you. I well cherish it. Now if only I knew how to use it. My 5-year-old pooped behind her bed. It didn't smell, so we didn't find it until it had already hardened. You don't wanna pick them up until they've hardened anyway. I'd happily pick up a hard turd with my bare hands if it meant I didn't have to handle a warm, squishy, soft turd at all. A friend of mine relayed this to me. She had ordered some lube off the internet. She has allergies and wanted to try something new, and there was a mix-up in the order. She was charged for the lube, but ended getting in the mail the Great American Challenge. If you don't want to Google it, it's an absolutely huge purple dildo. She wrote to the company asking WTF was up, and they responded with, "Oh man, our bad. Keep the dildo as our gift to you. We'll send you the correct product ASAP." Well, my friend decided she'd keep the challenge to give out as a gag gift, but nobody ever wanted to keep it. Eventually, she put it in a drawer in her room and forgot about it. A couple months later, her mom was in her room and straightening up, and lo and behold, the Great American Challenge. According to my friend, her mom's reaction was essentially, "I don't blame you for getting sexual AIDS, but don't you think it's a little much?" I found $200 in my son's room once when he was like 9. I was really worried about where he'd gotten it for a while. Did you ever find out how? Yeah, it was very boring. It was mostly just money he'd saved up over a year or so. I knew he was saving up, but when a 9-year-old says he's saving money, you just kind of imagine he has like $15 in a showbox somewhere, you know? Hey, you made it until the end. We are best friends now. Like this video, hit the subscribe button, and remember, if you don't, I'll come back and take all your cookies away. See you in the next video.